everyone, it's Angela and Ryan with Lost in Reviews, and we are here for another week of Blue Monday. We have quite a few for you, so let's go ahead and get started. First up this week, we have on DVD Insidious, which is from director James Wan, who did the very first and only good Saw movie. So this is on par with that kind of a thrilling sensation without too much gore, and it's more of what you don't see that actually scares you, which I like those kinds of movies. I'm glad they're coming back more.
Yeah, it's actually a scary film.
It does, you know, it gets scarier towards the end too, as they start to try and discover what's going on. Is the house haunted, or is somebody in the house haunted? I don't want to give away too much of the plot because you really don't need to know much about it besides the fact that it's a scary movie for you, really, if you want to watch it.
It's a ghost story.
Yeah. I really liked the film. I'd heard a lot about it, so I was excited to see it, and then it did meet up to my expectations. I guess I expected to be a little scared, more scared than I actually was, but it still played out really well.
I don't know, the red-faced demon devil guy was pretty scary.
It had really good pacing, I thought. So it was a very good film by James Wan. Excited to see what he comes up with next. As far as special features on this DVD, there's really not that much. It actually only totals up to about 25 minutes of
special features.
Yeah, only three different things. So not much worth owning on the DVD. It is a fun movie to show friends, to sit around and watch in the dark by yourself. I don't know if I'd watch it multiple times, so I'm only going to give it a rent it.
Yeah, and it came out last week, so you can pick that up now.
You'll get it.
So next up, let's talk about Doctor Who. It's Series 6, Part 1, and I love this TV show. Love running around with Amy Pond and Doctor Who, and this time the twist was pretty great at the very beginning. It had me like in from the very first episode. Not much for special features on this one, not like their last release, not the Christmas episode, but the Series 5 full kind of box set thing with cards and so many special features that it's crazy. This one only has one. It dives into the monsters of Doctor Who. But the show is so good that I have to say buy this, and I think their film quality got better. I do believe they shoot Doctor Who on the red, and you can definitely tell on this Blu-ray release. I definitely think Series 6 looks 10 times better than Series 5.
So they're getting like a bigger budget now?
Yeah, it's very, I just love this show.
Is this the most current season, what you're getting here?
Yes.
Okay.
The new season starts in September, which is part 2 of Series 6 in the United States. I'm sure it's already out in the UK.
Yeah.
And you can probably find it somewhere if you search the internet a little bit. But I love this show. It's fantastic. Right up my sci-fi alley. If you're looking to start with Doctor Who, you can't start here, but I suggest you see Series 5 and pick up on Series 6 Part 1. I'm giving this a buy it, even though it's lacking in special features.
Oh, okay. Okay then, so next up on Blu-ray this week we have Limitless, which is starring Bradley Cooper. This movie was a big surprise to me. I went into the screening, a while back when it first came out, thinking, it's Bradley Cooper, it's just a good-looking guy, what's this movie even about? And it blew my mind because the story subject itself is just fascinating. It's the story is about a pill that if you take it every day will increase your brain power and open up your mind to use 100% of your brain to where, things are essentially limitless. You can get anything accomplished. You can write a book in 4 hours,
But if you stop taking it,
you will die, most likely. So it's got some really good action. It's also got Robert De Niro in it, which he's really good in this role as kind of the nemesis for Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
and
it's a great role for him to kind of come back on because some of the stuff that he's been doing has been horrible.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I was like, ugh. So as far as special features, first of all, the Blu-ray looks fantastic. It was shot in these bright colors. As the movie goes along, before the pill, everything is drab and dreary and his life sucks, and he takes the pill and things open up and things brighten up and the blue in Bradley's eyes become like the sky or the ocean or something, and you just want to stare at the entire film. It looks so wonderful. Special features, there's commentary by the director, which it's not the most exciting commentary I've ever heard, but it is very informative. He talks about how they did certain shots, or like why they wanted to put the character in this direction versus another way. So it delves more into the why and the how of the story, and special features other than that would just be like kind of a making of, where you get to see them out on the streets in New York and how people just were, they didn't even have to hire extras. They just let the people in the streets walk by, because I guess New Yorkers just don't even give a crap. They just, oh, you're filming a movie, whatever. So that was pretty interesting.
But what they're bragging about mostly on this is the extended cut and has an alternate ending.
Yeah, that's...
Is that providing anything else to push people that saw the movie?
I watched the extended version and I didn't see anything different except maybe like 3 seconds. I wasn't even for sure. But I definitely think there wasn't anything too different from the theatrical version versus the extended cut. Now there was the alternate ending, which is different than the ending I originally saw, and it's not as good. It shows a different way that they could have gone about it. It's still generally the same idea, but the first original ending is still the best because it just kicks more ass. So I liked that one better, but it was cool to see the alternate ending. I always enjoy those to see how something could have turned out. So I really love this film. I'll definitely watch it again because it's so fun and it looks gorgeous. So I'm gonna give it a buy it.
All right. So I have next up, Take Me Home Tonight. You saw this back when it was, what was it called? It used to be called...
oh, it's had like 3 different names.
Yeah, but you saw it like when it was like screen print.
Yeah, I saw the unfinished version, essentially.
I heard that you liked it, but I watched the trailers and I wasn't too sure if this was going to be any good, but it's hilarious. If you're an 80s kid like myself, from the moment he's working at Suncoast Video, I was like, God, Suncoast Video. I used to be in there all the time, buying CDs and going through, putting stuff on reservation, and it just takes you back to those moments. But
things that don't exist anymore.
Yeah, but it doesn't kind of dwell on those. It becomes its own story towards the end, and towards the end, it doesn't really matter that it's in the 80s. It's just about people and what they go through. The movie's really, really funny, and it's kind of touching at times. It looks great on Blu-ray.
Oh, good.
Not too many special features. One thing on here that they brag about is the kind of 80s jukebox, which I thought was going to be really cool if you could just click on it and play the songs in the movie, because the songs,
soundtrack, basically?
Yeah, the songs are a great part of this film and really kind of get you into the mood for it. But rather than that, it just takes you to the scene, which...
Oh, okay. Where it plays.
Yeah, where it plays.
There's some good songs on there, though. It's a good soundtrack.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to suggest you rent this, not buy it, because I don't know if it has very much rewatchability. But I really enjoyed it. It looks brilliant on Blu-ray. The soundtrack is amazing in it. Yeah, and this is definitely a standout role for Topher Grace.
Okay, so last in my pile this week is a Criterion Collection edition of The Music Room. This is an Indian film from 1958, and I'm not even going to attempt to say this guy's director's name here. But
it's like Sanjit Ray.
That's Mr. Ray. He's Mr. Ray today. So Criterion always packs their Blu-rays with stuff so much that it almost takes you 2 days to get through all of it.
Yeah.
And this is especially impressive because this is a film from 1958. This was his 4th film ever, and it won all kinds of awards at Cannes Film Festival when it opened there. But it actually, they go into the story of how this got recognized and how it was actually playing at a midnight screening. There was very few people in there, but the few people that did see it demanded that they replay it again so that it was at a decent time so people could see it, and ended up taking home these awards, and he's increased his fame from there.
Yeah.
The reason he's become so big is because back in 1958, in that time era, the only Indian films that ever came out were the essential Bollywood films, where dancing was just an interlude from scene to scene. And he had the idea that dancing and song should be integral to the story itself. It should be there should be a purpose for it, not just a commercial essentially. So he really changed the way film was made in India. So that was very impressive. Now the story itself is a very subtle, gentle story that I would say it's kind of on par with Citizen Kane. It's about a rich man that's living off the wealth of his family and what's left of it, but you can see his castle around him is decaying. Life is, just creeping by. And I don't want to give away the story because it is such a small story, I could give it away to you very easily. But it's a story of a man and his struggles with coming to terms with who he is now and what he's had to go through, losses and such. So it's not, there's some small humor in it, but it's mainly a very serious movie, and I loved it. I thought it was so simplistic, but...
Well, how does it look on Blu-ray, because it's an older film?
Okay, it's black and white, so that's, kind of takes away from it there, and it isn't full screen, so they couldn't really do anything about that. The sound has been improved greatly because you don't have
because
like...
the soundtrack is one of the things that really draw people to this movie.
Yeah, there was no like clicking or
Yeah.
staticky sounds. They got all that out, and the music was fantastic in this film. That was one of the things that drew me the most to it. Yeah, but it does look very clear in black and white and on Blu-ray, but you do still see like the couple of little hairs and the fine lines because it's such an old film that they cleaned it up as best they could. And there's so many special features on here, I don't even know where to start. There's so many about the director himself. So if you really want to get to know this guy, this covers it all. There's so much to do with it. I mean, I have to give it a bite because I don't even feel like I've seen all of it yet. I want to go back and learn more about this, and it makes me want to get into more of his movies. So definitely go out and check out The Music Room and buy it.
Yeah, especially if you're into the Darjeeling Limited, which this was one of the inspirations for that film.
Yes, Wes Anderson used some of the music from this film on the Darjeeling Limited, so that was kind of cool.
Last up, kind of going with my 80s theme, though this came out in the 90s, is Boyz in the Hood. Listening to a couple songs and Take Me Home Tonight, I seriously just wanted to pop in Boyz in the Hood because it just kind of goes in with the feel. I don't know why.
For the music, you mean?
Yeah, in my mind, I thought this was going to be like, kind of different. I had a different memory of it from way back when, but it is a very somber and dark film and really sad. It's packed with special features, though you'll find most of them on the previous Blu-ray or the previous DVD releases. It does have one exclusive to Blu-ray thing. It's kind of like a documentary, but not too much there. If you love Boyz in the Hood, you definitely have to pick this up. It looks great. The transfer to Blu-ray looks fantastic. They really took a long time and worked on this, I feel like. It's a hard film for me to watch personally because it's such a dim and dark subject matter, but I'm going to give Boyz in the Hood on Blu-ray a rent it.
Okay.
That is it for Blue Monday, and we will see you next week.